Do you not know that water doesn't do this? It doesn't flow uphill for boats to traverse up hills in water. That is not what water does. So this is just pseudoscience. It's a bullshit story with styrofoam water going uphill. You think this is science, clown?
The difference between pseudoscience
is it's not tested by experiment after observing natural phenomena, as opposed to inventing violations of water behaviour in styrofoam and painting it blue and saying boats go uphill on water.
and regular science is whether or not you can test it.
Yeah, you didn't, though. First, you start with a naturally observed phenomena. That's what you do in real science. Occurring in nature, asking yourself why it happened, that's science. Formulating a supposition of the cause of the effect, to therefore go forth and validate it by varying that which you assume caused it, and seeing if it does or not. That's science. Anything outside of that, with a claim of science, which this most assuredly is pseudoscience. There is no naturally observed phenomena in this styrofoam uphill water bullshit.
The flat Earth? Well, that didn't stand up to tests.
What tests? It's a concrete noun. Earth being flat didn't stand up to tests. It stood up to the test of measuring angles. Elevation angles for navigation. The thing you mentioned in the last video. So elevation angle measurements would be measuring, not science. A quantitative measurement of what the Earth actually is. That's not science. Measuring concrete nouns is maths. Observing natural phenomena, that's something happening, is the purview of science. This isn't. Saying that you haven't had a test for a flat Earth is stupid, because it's definitely not akin to observing a natural phenomena. You're an idiot. You don't know what science is. How dare you call yourself science?
The round Earth did.
Did it? What test was that? This stupid table behind you? You think that's science? Because you've got a guy with an audio cue going ding when you say it is. That's your standard bicycle bell.
Extraordinary claims require extraordinary proof.
Yeah, you're damn right they do. They'd require you have a physical geometric limitation, Earth curve edge for boats to fall over, at 1.2 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, exactly as it's claimed. Now that extraordinary claim has been debunked.
The world is round.
No, we've debunked it as being round based on the extraordinary evidence you needed to fulfill failing on its arse. So let's pretend for a second that Josh is a globe believer. And I look across at that image. This is the Chicago skyline, right? Across Lake Michigan, I believe. Well, according to the globe Earth maths, we shouldn't see any of this. None of this should be there. Should all be obscured from view. And according to the weatherman and the Earth curve mathematics, the assertion is that this isn't the Chicago skyline. This is in fact a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena holographic projection of the Chicago skyline from behind the physical geometric limitation called Earth curve, formerly the horizon, where it's dropped away at a rate of 8 inches per mile squared to the point where you can't see it, and refraction has refracted up the image of the skyline to meet the horizon so we can see it. Ergo, this isn't actually Chicago, it's a mirage. Now me, as a flat earther, I look at this and go, Chicago skyline. That's the end of my description and explanation for it. Why is it the Chicago skyline? Because I can see it with my own eyeballs. There it is. There's the Chicago skyline. No explanation is required. What's that? It's not really there. It's really a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena holographic projection of Chicago from behind the reified geometric sphere edge horizon formerly known as Earth curve. It's not really there. It's a mirage, says the globe Earth believer. How is this a win? Shouldn't even be there if Earth was a sphere. Should have a massive obstruction hill, Earth curve horizon in the way of it. So what are you trying to prove? That if you think that things will be visible on a flat Earth, here they are visible, but it's not because it's a flat Earth, it's because it's a fucking mirage? Is that your point? Because he didn't actually make any claims when putting this image up. He put it up and played Star Wars. This is a black swan. He's showing a boat with a claim to be obstruction at the bottom of it, with a horizon behind the boat! Bill Nye, this is a black swan. If you're showing this image and claiming that the bottom of the boat is obscured by a physical geometric sphere edge horizon Earth curve, Number one, why is it bending and bowing down? And number two, why is there a horizon behind the boat? Black Swan. If this is Earth curve blocking the boat, why is there a horizon behind it? He's literally showing black swans. This couldn't be a better black swan. What's it obscured by? Is this the Earth curve edge obstruction blocking the boat? There's a horizon behind it! Is this a joke? This is a literal black swan. If he's going to claim that the boat's blocked by Earth curve, what's the horizon behind it then? What? So now we're going to show a white swan. So what? We can't see beyond the geometric limitation of the sphere edge horizon radius 3959, so we can calculate how many feet and inches of this boat are missing? We've got images like the one that was on screen prior that showed the horizon beyond the limitation. Literally, the previous clip disproved the horizon as Earth curve. Who put this together for Bill Nye? Somebody brain dead that didn't notice that there was a horizon behind the claimed obstruction of the boat. What about this boat? How far is this boat in the near foreground? Have you got a distance for it? Maybe this should have been blocked by Earth curve. What have you got to denote the distance to this boat or this boat to be able to assert in any way, shape or form that the claim to be obstruction as it goes over the edge of Earth is actually Earth curve? How can you prove that? Have you got something to mark out the distance? How do we know how far this boat is? How do we know that this boat isn't supposed to be blocked by the Earth curve? Do we know this isn't a hologram of a boat? How are you proving it? See, when we use the horizon, that's flat earthers, we use things like oil rigs that are literally anchored to the ground at a fixed distance to denote where the Earth curve edge horizon should be, but isn't. In this, there's nothing telling me how far this boat is. There's nothing telling me how far this boat is. Is this one in front of Earth curve or behind it? How far away is it? There's no historic information being provided whatsoever. Just, here's a boat, it's on the horizon, and the horizon's Earth curve. What about the image before? What about literally the video that you showed previously? There was a black swan! Is this Earth curve behind it? Yeah, this is ludicrous. This is zero quality in terms of proving Earth's a sphere. Some fuzzy, crappy picture of a boat that's miles away. Why isn't this behind the Earth curve? It's miles away. What is it, 200x zoom it said on the last frame? So if this is at 200 times zoom, why isn't this behind Earth curve? Have you got the measurements? I'm going to say this isn't a fucking hologram. And is proving that it's not a sphere because it would be behind it. Prove me wrong. Give me the historic information for the distances to these boats. Yeah, crap. When we do it, we don't need dramatic music. We know how far the oil rigs are, we know how far your Earth curve for the boats to fall over is, and we can show it's beyond it. With provable, discernible, measurable distances to your Earth curve denoted by 2 oil rigs at 9 and 6 miles. So we can say the horizon's beyond it, therefore beyond 9 miles, when the Earth curve should be at 1.2 miles. Where's the information from Bill Nye? Isn't he going to give us any information for how far this is? Or lay down the maths for how it proves it's supposed to be a sphere edge horizon, this boat's falling over? Is it falling over your edge, Bill? This boat? Is this falling over edges, is it? Yeah, this proves nothing, literally. I don't know how far this boat is or that boat is. What I do know is it's a vague, fuzzy, blurry mess because it's so far away. And in the Earth curve maths, you're going to account for it being, what, a 30-foot boat? Yeah, you're going to say it's got a 30-foot sail on it? It's tiny. Absolutely minuscule. At massive zoom lengths. There's no perspective in Earth curve maths. And there's no distances being told to you in this regard. So you don't know whether or not this boat would or wouldn't be behind the Earth curve if it was actually measured out. No information. So that boat is absolutely miles away. Why isn't it behind Earth curve? Miles away. It's so far that when you zoom out, it's disappeared. This boat is most definitely not behind the horizon. Yet as he zooms back and it gets too small to see, it vanishes completely. So therefore I can infer that things get too small to see, as it's literally just been shown to be the case. fuck all to do with Earth curve. There's one that sat on the horizon and one that sat in front of it. Did they both go behind Earth curve when you zoomed out? There's no accounting for perspective in your Earth curve maths, and yet the boats just completely vanished from view by simply zooming out. Did it go over the edge? Did it go over your Earth curve edge when he zoomed out?